Hello and welcome back to Up Past Bedtime. I'm Bella Messina. I'm going to be staying up late with you tonight, and I don't think I've ever had a response to the idea of me filming an episode like I have this one. My subscribers begged for this. So in celebration of Galentine's Day and Valentine's Day for the loved up girlies, I am going to be sharing with you today my little toe dipping into the world of dating after being in a 10-year-long relationship that took up my entire adult life. So girlies and my 3 male listeners, strap yourself in. It's going to be a fun one. I have some fun stuff to share this episode. Welcome to Up Past Bedtime with me, Bella Messina, your go-to girl for those late-night unfiltered conversations. You know, the ones you have with your closest girlfriends. No topic is off limits here. I'll either be hosting chats with some incredible women or sharing my own real stories as a 20-something mother of 2. UPB is for us to feel seen, heard, and understood. So let's stay up late and talk about all the things that matter. After all, the best conversations happen when you're up past bedtime. Okay, let's just rip the Band-Aid off and start talking about this. I feel very vulnerable discussing the idea of dating and my experience with dating with you guys. But I did say in 2025, I wanted to get back into dating. I wanted to experience that. And when I've shared that, I've had lots of people down my throat like, me. You were married for 10 years? Like, how can you, you were in a relationship for 10 years. How could you even think about dating? You know, it's like 5 months since I've left my ex-husband now. And the answer is, it's none of your business is what the answer is. I can say that I am ready to date whenever I want to date. I think I'll preface this with Adrian and I have had this conversation. We are grown adults. We have both discussed that, you know, we're separated, we're single, and we are back out into the world and dating is a thing. And we had a very mature conversation about the boundaries we have with our children and dating. Him and I are both very, very strong on that. Our children are not involved in any way, shape, or form with our dating life, i.e., no one is meeting our children. Unless they are someone that is very serious and they meet us, the parents, first. So if Adrian was seeing someone, he would introduce them to me before introducing them to the children and vice versa. Then we have no problems. You do what you want to do. I'll do what I want to do. We're not together. We're separated. We're single. Live, laugh, love. You have your privacy. I'll have my privacy. It's all good. And we genuinely feel that way. We do not have anger about that. Well, I don't have any anger about that. As far as I can tell, he doesn't have any anger about that in return. We are just both very clear that the children have had enough change, and also little kids, it's confusing enough for them without introducing, you know, partners that come and go. I think if we were ever going to introduce someone to our children, we would be doing it in a way of like, I think this person is very, very serious and is going to be around for a long time. So there's no one that's going to be interfering in the girls' lives at all. The way that I kind of preference it is my children are not a secret to someone that I would be seeing, but someone that I'm seeing is a secret from my children. Okay, so I'm not ashamed to say that I'm a mum of 2 or anything like that, but I don't want my children to know about them because it's none of their business, okay? They get to be kids and be happy being kids, and I want our homes to be safe and secure and consistent for them, and there be no more confusion. So we're going to get that off the bat. Everything's good between me and Adrian. Everything's good in the parenting sense. We can talk about this openly now, okay? We can have a little laugh about the experiences that I'm about to share. So I met my ex-husband I met him at 18. We started dating just after my 19th birthday. And then we were dating for a good couple of months before, seeing each other, and then we'd been friends for like 9 months before our first kiss or whatever. So pretty much I haven't really had any other dating experience as a grown adult. I did have a guy that I saw before I started seeing Adrian for like a couple of months, but it was very unserious. And we were never boyfriend and girlfriend, so I don't really count it, to be honest. Adrian's the only proper like adult dating experience I have had. And we also met in 2014. This is before Tinder was a thing, let alone all the other apps. Like internet dating back then was like, what was that one? It's like something fish, plenty of fish or something fish, like a dating website that was for like 40-year-old virgins who were probably undiagnosed autistic and could not like meet people. That is, or like divorcees. It was not really around and happening. I remember maybe a little bit into my ex-husband and I's relationship is when like Tinder sort of launched, and a lot of my friends, well, my single friends were talking about Tinder. And I just remember being like, that is so freaking weird to like meet people on an app. What do you even mean? I have never really been on a dating app and used it like seriously to meet people, but I was assured by all my single friends that dating apps are the way that people meet each other these days. You either meet them on a dating app or at Run Club were like the two ways that I was told if I wanted to meet someone else or go start dating, that is how it was done. Other than like work, which obviously I work for myself at home. So I'm not meeting anyone in any office here. So I was like, well, I freaking hate running. I definitely do not want to join a run club. So I guess I'm downloading my first dating app and I'm giving it a red hot crack. So that's what I did. I downloaded Hinge. I was advised that Tinder was like more of like just a sex sort of thing. Like the guys don't really ask you on dates on Tinder. They're just like, come over to my house. And I was like, I don't want to do that. I applied for Raya, which is like the like influencer dating app or like celebrity dating app. I got rejected, which I was so offended about. Not rejected, I got waitlisted. And I have friends who are like not in any type of public facing type of job and they got approved for Raya. And then I don't know why, I got pushed back and I was like, oh, okay, I'm obviously just a nobody and a loser and I'm not allowed to be on that app, even though I'm an influencer full time. No worries, Raya, what do you mean? That's okay. So I went with Hinge. Everyone said Hinge is probably the best one to go with. So I was like, ugh. Okay. Went on Hinge, blocked anyone that I knew personally because I didn't want to get presented with anyone's profile and I didn't want my profile presented to anyone I knew. And then I built my profile. I've got it up, okay, to show you guys. This feels very vulnerable. I actually built it with my girlfriends. Like I asked their advice and they helped me. They helped me pick the pictures. They helped me pick my prompts. I was so new to all of this. I was like, what do I even do? So the way that kind of Hinge works, for any other listeners who have never had to experience a dating app like me, is you've got pictures and then you've got like details about yourself and then you also have like little questions where you answer. And I guess it's like to let people like get to know you a bit more than just like them looking at a picture of you and making a judgment call. Although I'm pretty sure like people still just look at the picture and if they think you're cute, then they'll go and look at the prompts. Like I still think it's very weird that it's like really just a face value type of thing, dating apps, but that's okay. So I did my like profile picture as like one of me in like a brown dress and you can kind of see me and I'm smiling and you can see like a lot of my face and whatever. And then my first prompt was the best way to ask me out is by, and then I said saying you'll come play bingo, then taking me out for hot chippies and margs. And then I did like a little selfie and then like a full body sort of picture. I'm in like a little red outfit. And then I had another prompt that says my unusual skills. And then it says bullying everyone around me into wearing Crocs with gibbets. And then the little like satisfied smiley emoji. And then there's another picture and it's a picture of my like best friend Tess's family and me. And it's like a foot picture of us all wearing Crocs with gibbets. And then on the picture it says, this could be us, which I was like, hee hee. And then my last prompt said, I'd fall for you if you let me play Taylor Swift while I'm passenger princess. And then there's a picture of me doing the podcast and I just have like a little peace sign up. And then I have one final picture and it is me skiing and it says, I can teach you how to. And that was my profile. I didn't list anything like very identifying in terms of like my details. I got my age, that I'm a woman, I'm straight, my height, which is 5'9". I don't like with Hinge that you have to put a suburb of where you are living, because it's done on like you put a radius of how far away you want people to be from you. But that gave me the heebity-jeebities in terms of like safety. I'm like, I meant to tell you what suburb I live in. I think as a public facing person as well, I was like, there ain't no way. So I did something that was like, I did a suburb that was close to the city. And I was like, if they're like within, 15 kilometres of the Brisbane city, then that's fine with me. That's not too far away. And then I have my star sign, and then it just says for work, it just says social media. So I did not disclose exactly what I do on social media because I feel like it's a bit full on. And then it just says like I'm looking for monogamy. I have absolutely zero mention of me being a mum on my dating profile. And that is because I watched a TikTok ages ago while I was still married of this woman saying that predators actually use dating apps to target single mothers so that they can have access to children. So they will go on the dating apps and they will specifically match with single mothers, and in the hopes that the mother will give them access to their children so that they can prey on them. And that freaked me the F out. I was like, I don't want someone matching with me because I'm a mum. So I left that I'm a mum off my profile. I did not keep it a secret from anyone. If anyone asked about it or asked anything close to it, I was like honest and said, whatever. It wasn't like a secret. I just didn't want someone to be filtering me for motherhood. That was my little profile. I turned it on and away we go. I'm going to say one thing. Boys are so fucking weird. Like when I'm straight and I'm looking at some of these profiles, I'm like, why am I straight? The amount of men who put pictures of them and their ex-partner on their profile, and then they would just put like a clown face emoji over the ex-partner or like a skull emoji over the ex-partner. I was like, oh my God, freaking yikes. Instant no, I'm not matching with you. Truly king, that cannot be the only photo you have to put on your profile. And also it's not a good look to start like off like trying to meet someone with you like obviously dissing your ex like straight up on the dating profile. I don't know, that gave me the biggest ick. I saved some profiles that I have, so I'm going to try and get some up and tell you guys like some of the ones that I screenshotted and like cackled. Let me try and find it because there's this one that this guy had and I was like, oh my freaking God, screenshotted it immediately and sent it to my friends. Give me a second. Oh, I've got a picture of one of the guys who did like the bloody clown face on his ex-girlfriend. He's like literally kissing her on the mouth in a mirror selfie and then has put like a clown emoji over her face. It's like, bro, you did not put that on your profile. Are you okay? Clearly not. And I would just love to message him and be like, how successful is this going for you? Because surely girls aren't seeing that and being like, yeah, I want to match with this guy. Okay, so this is the guy and his like little thing is, pizza is my second favorite thing to eat in bed. Yuck, king. Like not yuck, like slay that you like that, but also what? And there was like, need to be medicated, caffeinated or masturbated. It's like, that's very direct for your bio. Like this is what I mean. And that man's 33 years old. It's like, sir, a 33-year-old man is not putting that as his bio. Like I get like being funny and like a little bit cheeky on your like Hinge profile, but excuse me, that is so full on. Like I'm like looking at these profiles coming through and being like, oh my God, it is like a hellscape out here. No wonder the single girlies are rioting over on social media if this is what we are being presented on these apps. I was shooketh. Of course, I was getting some matches, which is kind of cute. Talking to guys is so freaking weird after 10 years of like being with the same guy, him understanding my humor so intimately, and it's really weird to go like into small talk. The problem with small talk is like one of the first things that people ask you is, hey, what do you do? Is kind of like a really common like, I don't know, conversation starter. And I would always like at first try and like dance around the answer in the people I've talked to. And I'd be like, oh, social media, what do you do? And then they'd like say whatever they did. Then they'd be like, what? Social media is very broad and vague. Like, what in social media? Do you work for a business or blah, blah, blah? I was like, no, I like work for myself. And then they're like, okay, like doing what? Like strategy or making content or blah, blah, blah. And I'd be like, yeah, kind of like both of those things. And then they're like, okay, like making content for like different businesses and then in the end, I'd usually just be like, making content about my life. I am a content creator, which is just like a polite way of saying influencer. And then it always would be a really interesting thing to see how they like responded to that. Some guys would be like, oh, that's really cool. Like, can I watch your Instagram handle? And then other guys would just be like, oh, okay, cool. Like not ask things like that. Like, what's your Instagram handle? They just be like, oh, that's interesting. Like blah, blah, blah. Like they'd ask me questions about the job. Like, do you like it? How'd you get into that? Like whatever. The ones who always like asked my handle, I didn't really know how to do it. I'm like, do I prep them before I give it to them? Do I not give it to them? What do I do? In the end, usually what I was doing was like, I would just be like, yep, it's this. I'm sure you're going to go look at it and come back with heaps of questions because obviously they're going to land on my page and be like, whoa, she's got 2 kids. What the heck? I had one guy that I matched with and we were like chatting or whatever. And then I was like, oh yeah, like I work in social media. That's like what I do. And then he was like, oh, can you send me your handle? And I did that. I was like, oh yeah, like, here it is. Like, go look at it. I'm sure you're going to come back with lots of questions. And literally within like a minute, it was like the conversation disappeared, which means they've unmatched you. And they're like pretty much want to like dip. And I was like, oh my God, lol, he saw I had kids and was like, nope. But I was like, as if you couldn't even just like send a message and be like, oh, hey, like love that for you. I'm just not looking to date anyone with kids. And like if someone that you can say on your profile like wants kids or whatever, doesn't want kids, like if someone would say on their profile like do not want kids, I would obviously not try and like match with them because I'm like, well, I have 2 kids, so I'm not matching with you. But yeah, I didn't say anything about kids on my profile. So for some people it was a bit of a shock and I can kind of understand that. I also had just like some weird interactions, like guys who would just come on like so strong in terms of like send me a pic, like I'm like, Jesus Christ, like we're older. Like I had my age setting from 29 to 40, I think I put it as. And like, to be honest, I don't think I would date a 40-year-old, but I was like not closed off to the idea. I was like, I'll just put it older. Like I kind of felt that like an older guy would at least like maybe be done like that period, like the young kid period of life. And you know, I don't know why I put it older. I just did, to be honest. Like when I'm now like kind of explaining what I was thinking in my head, I'm like, that kind of doesn't work, but whatever. That is the age bracket I put. I've always dated like older men and I kind of have no interest in dating a guy younger than me. I like some girls love it. It's just not my type of vibe. So I didn't do that. I did have like a little list of like things to me that I was like, okay, these are what I want in my next like partner. I'd like sat down and kind of had to think of like some things I would like to see. So I've got this list. It's funny. So it's not funny. Like it's just an aspirational list. I don't know how realistic it is. Anyway, so it just says my man is the notes. And then the first dot point is tall. So taller than me, but in my head when I'm saying tall, I'm thinking like I want to stand on my tippy toes to have to kiss them, okay? Has a sister. This is really important to me. I wanted a man who like understood women, you know, and I feel like men who have sisters get women a bit better than men who only have like male siblings. So that was a big non-negotiable for me. I was like, I want someone that has a sister or sisters. I also just like really want a sister-in-law. That's cool and we get along, we get to have fun with, okay? That's also selfish. I'm like, I want a new bestie, and if I ever married someone else, I want you to have a like sister that I could, or sisters that I could like vibe with, you know, real nice, because I've never had a sister-in-law. Then I had financially secure and disciplined. The discipline part is important because I am not the most disciplined with money, and I'm like, we can't have 2 big spenders in a relationship, okay? One of us has to be disciplined with money. And then financially secure, I think that's just like I've got 2 kids and like I've, you know, got my own thing going on, and I just would like to make sure that you also have your own thing going on. So money is not really a factor in our relationship, if that makes sense, as in like there's not pressure for like, oh, you need to go make all this money to support me, as in like me saying that to him or him being like, I don't know. I just wanted both of us to be like financially doing our own thing and good. You got to have a job, sir. If you don't have a job, I'm not really vibing, to be honest. Then I had gentle as a descriptor of them. I really want to date next like a very gentle, soft soul, not masculine, but yeah, gentle. They have to have been in a long-term relationship before. I think if someone's like in their like early to mid 30s and they've never had a long-term relationship, red flag. Funny and goofy. That's like something I always look for in men. I really like a little silly goofy boy. I think they're good fun. Is not set on a big wedding or getting married again. Even if I married someone else again, I would not want to do like the big traditional wedding. So that was important to me. I also had no kids, which I know is so hypocritical. And it's not because I don't think single dads are attractive. It's the idea of I already have kids and having to manage 2 co-parenting schedules sounds really intense to me. So I was like, look, ideally, if you didn't have kids, that would be great. But it wasn't like a make or break the no kids for me. But it was just like, ideally, I would like someone that doesn't have kids because it's a lot easier then to only have to worry about my schedule than like, okay, you have a co-parenting schedule, I have a co-parenting schedule. Do the schedules link up? Like, are we ever going to be able to see each other? It's just much easier with someone who doesn't also have kids. Is open-minded and then is okay with my boundaries. And that was more around me being like, you know, you're not going to be meeting my kids. You have to respect that, 50% of the time I'm not available. I'm going to be with my kids. So that was like my kind of list that I was working on of what I was looking in a man. I did set my height filters on Hinge to be over 6 foot too. And I'm sorry to the short kings, but I did my 10-year time with a short king and I was ready and I am ready to meet a taller man, okay? No hate to the short kings. I married one, but I am not looking to marry one again. Anyway, I did start matching with people. I matched with a few guys that had kids. That's why I was saying like it's not like it wasn't a make or break for me. I'm also talking in past tense because I have now I just haven't really been active on the app because I don't know. You'll understand why. I'm going to share a few date experiences and then I'm like, ooh, I don't know if I like this app as much as I thought I did or was going to. So yeah, I'm saying was because I haven't been on it in like, I don't know, a little while, okay? Anyway, yeah, I matched with a few people, had some interesting conversations. Oh my God, I had this conversation with this one guy. I did not tell him what I did and he didn't ask me what I did and we were just having a normal conversation. And then out of the blue, I got a message from him. So I'm going into my messages with a friend because I screenshotted this message and sent it to her because I unmatched him. So I can't go back and look at the matches in Hinge. Anyway, I just got this message from him that says, word on the grapevine is that you can help me with my social media presence. You take me out and wine and dine me to land the job. I don't know why, but getting that message sent me the biggest ick. Like it sent me a physical ick. Like the whole heard you can get me boost my social media presence. So what is that asking? You want to use me for clout? Sir, my audience is 98% female and they're all mums. They ain't going to be coming over and following you. 2, then being like, you take me out and wine and dine me and I'll see if you make the cut. I was like, ew, what a disgusting way to freaking phrase that to someone. Foul. I had a few people that just tried to message me and I was like, there is nothing here. This is the most boring conversation I've ever had. I need a little bit of riz going, a little bit of back and forth. There is no back and forth here. I'm going to tell you guys about the first date I went on from Hinge. And I've named it with my friends, the first date from hell. Okay. It was a very uncomfortable date. So I matched with a guy. He was older. He was 38. So good 10 years on me, and he was successful in business, and he actually was a dad. He had a daughter. He was pretty cool. We were chatting and it was good, and he had been married before and then he'd been divorced from his wife for 2 or 3 years, I think it was. And he asked me pretty quickly, like, do you want to go on a date? And I thought the vibes were good. So I was like, okay, we'll go on a date. Like, that sounds good. I am down for it. So we organised a restaurant. Well, he organised it all. He was like, let's go to this restaurant. I've booked this time. I'll meet you there, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, okay, slay, good. Like, in terms of you, like, being forward and organising the date and whatever. And we messaged for a couple of days before I went on this date. And yeah, the vibes are good. Like, he definitely messaged like he was 38, but I was like, and I think like a lot of the girls would understand what I mean by that. Like, just like men who are older, like they don't use emojis and everything feels very like short, but I think it's just like their like text health. I don't know, like it's weird. I don't know how to describe it, but like the vibes, like if a 28-year-old texted me like a 38-year-old, I'd be like, the 28-year-old hates my guts. But then the 38-year-old is like, what do you mean? Like, that's just like a normal way to talk. Like, it's very bizarre. Anyway, yeah, the messaging was fine, whatever. He told me about his kids. I told him like a little bit about mine. He knew that I did social media, but he didn't have social media at all, which I was actually like, oh, I like that. Like, I don't really want someone that's like fucking watching me, and I share so much of my life on social media. I'm like, I feel like it's a bit of an ick if a guy like watches my profile before meeting me in person, because it doesn't let me like give them an impression, because the content I make is not for men, right? Like, the content I make is for women, and it's, you know, like me in my pajamas, like looking like shit, like talking about, I don't know, something that probably is not for a male to hear, you know? So I kind of liked that he didn't have social media. He was like, looked handsome in his pictures and he looked well dressed and whatever. So met him at the restaurant, and the second he opened his mouth, I was like, oh, you've got a very interesting voice. And one of my friends was like, can you describe it? And I was like, I really can't. But it was like enough that the voice kind of made me like do a little step back and be like, oh, like that sounds weird. I don't know how to describe, like it just didn't, I don't know, maybe it just didn't match what I had conceptualized in my brain of what he would sound like. I don't know why, but it really like instantly gave me the ick. Something about it. I was just like, ooh. Like, it was just such a, and I don't mean to be judging, but like I was just like, oh, okay. But also when we like said hello, he didn't lean in for like a hug or anything. We kind of just said hello and stared at each other, and I was like, this is so fucking awkward. I don't know what to do. I was so nervous because I had not been on a first date in freaking over 10 years, and I was like, what do I even talk about? Like, do I even know how to go on a date with a man? Like, what the heck is going on here? We went into the restaurant, we started ordering food, and this man could not, for the life of him, hold eye contact. Like, I'm not just being, like, I'm not, like, he could not hold eye contact. Like, the whole time I'm there, I'm like, wait, are you autistic too? Because like, why are you not holding eye contact? And because I am autistic, when someone else struggles with eye contact, I start getting really flustered, because I'm like, okay, well, if you're not looking me in the eye, like where the frick am I meant to be looking? Like I don't know how to mask right now because I can't copy you. So what's going on here? Like, look me in the eye. What's going on? And he was just like a bit awkward, and weirdly a bit standoffish. And I was like, oh, okay, like what's going on here? And if I would ask him something, he'd kind of just be like, oh, well, I don't know, like just gave very like weird vibes. He didn't drink, and when I asked him why he didn't drink, he was like, oh, well, we can talk about that like down the line if we have to, which to me I was like, red flag, red flag, red flag. What does that mean? What the frick does that mean? He also said the same thing when I said, oh, you know, was your like breakup with your ex amicable? Do you guys co-parent okay? And again, he was like, oh, well, we can talk about that down the line. I was like, what the heck does that mean? Like, what has happened there? He was like, yeah, I see her, and like, you know, we co-parent well and blah, 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 blah. I was like, okay, like what does that mean? Like, oh, we can talk about it more later. Like, I'm just trying to get a vibe for you, I guess. And then we kind of got stuck into this like awkward thing where like I felt like the only two things we could talk about was his job or being a parent, which I was like, on a date, I don't really want to be sitting here talking about like our kids the whole time, but like I also don't want to just be sitting here in silence. So I guess like we can talk about our kids. So we had like a big chat about parenting, and he was telling me his like ideas of like what being a good parent was. they didn't really align with like, he was like, I'm super strict and like, I'll like yell at my daughter and like blah, blah. And I was like, well, we don't yell in my house and like, we're not kind of like that. I'm not as strict as that, blah, blah. And he was like, kids need like discipline. Kids need you to be strict, whatever. I was like, holy goodness, like this is really uncomfortable. But I was trying to be polite and just like, oh, haha, whatever. And then we kind of got into the topic of like my job, and he was like, I just like don't get people who make money on social media. Like I just kind of think it's like a stupid job. And I was like, why are you here then? Because you knew what I did for a job. Like it almost felt like very like, oh, I'm going to make you feel a bit like small for your job. And I was just like, oh, haha, okay. Then somehow we got on the topics of freaking politics. The man was a Trumpy. The man was a Trumpy and like a very devout Trump supporter. And I just literally, I'm sorry, everyone is allowed their own political beliefs. But when it comes to me dating a man, I would never in 10 million freaking billion years date like a diehard Trump supporter. I wanted to flag the waiter down and be like, hey, check, get me the fuck off this date. Like this is my worst fucking nightmare come to life. I think he got the vibe from there that I was like awkward and just like, fuck, I don't want to be here anymore. Like, let's wrap this dinner up. And he also let me know that he was a huge conspiracy theorist and he had to ban like Reddit, like block the Reddit website from his phone because he got obsessed about being in threads with like on conspiracy theories. And I was like, oh my God, what the heck? I was like, oh, like, what ones do you believe? And he was like, oh, we can't get into it. I'd be here all night talking about it. I was like, oh my God, I'm on dinner. I'm at dinner with a flat earther or something. Like, Jesus Christ. I was half expecting him to like pull out a hat covered in like tin foil or something like that. I was like, what is going on here? He's like, some are really legit. Like if I showed you the research on it and whatever. I was like, King, there's no research. It's called a conspiracy theory for a reason because people conspire about it. They don't have any facts. That's why it's a conspiracy theory. It hasn't been freaking proven. Anyway, I'm not a conspiracy theorist at all. Like I just don't really get into them. I don't know. I'm like, whatever. So anyway, he was like, I'm going to go up and go to the bathroom and then I think like we can go. And I was like, by this time we'd like done a starter, done a main. They'd asked if we wanted dessert. I was like, no, thank you. I'm ready to skedaddle out of here. And I was like, okay, no worries. I had Ubered to the restaurant and I was like, cool, whatever. He went to the bathroom, paid the bill, which slaking, thank you for the free meal. And then he was like, let's go. I was like, okay. And I was like, okay, well, thank you so much. I'll like order my Uber now. And he was like, oh no, I've like parked outside of the restaurant. I can just like give you a lift home. And in my head, one, I was like, I don't want this guy knowing where I live. Two, please, I don't want to have to endure a conversation with you any longer. But I was like, no, it's okay, don't worry. Like I've already started ordering it, blah, blah. He's like, no, don't be silly, blah, blah, blah. Hop in the car, let me drive you, blah, blah, blah. I kind of got pushed into, I should have just said like, no, but I was feeling a bit flustered and I didn't know what the etiquette was. It's like my first date. And so I was like, okay. So he's driving me home and the conversation in the car on the drive home is just like so uncomfortable, really awkward. I'm kind of just chatting to fill the silence because I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. And we pull up to outside of my house and in my head I'm thinking, please do not lean over for a kiss. Please do not lean over for a kiss. Please do not lean over for a kiss. Luckily he didn't. And I was kind of like, okay, well, thank you so much. Like this is a great date. Thank you for paying for dinner. I'm really grateful. Good night, pretty much. I'm scurrying out of the car. I'm like leaping out the car to be like, get me out of this man's car and into my safe house. And I turn around to like close the door and he kind of leans across and he's like, whoa, 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 whoa. And I was like, fuck. It's like, yeah. He's like, I just want to let you know, like, I'm not unmatching you on Hinge. I'm actually like deleting the app. I was like, okay. And he was like, yeah, I'm just like over the apps. Like I'm just off them. They like never work and blah, blah, blah. I was like, I don't know if I was like, I can't be offended because I also like, I'm not interested in you and I don't want you to continue talking to me. But also like, I can not like you, but how dare you not like me? You should have been like, oh, that girl's amazing. That girl's amazing. And I was like, okay, I literally said, okay, King, have a good night, and like closed the door and like walked into my house. He must have thought I was so weird because as I was walking to my house, I was like going to myself, I was like, I'm meeting you. I'm doing you up. Like I was saying that in that voice to myself. I was like, what a fucking loser, like whatever, as I'm walking to the house. And all he would have seen is just me talking to myself, like walking up to the house. But I was kind of grateful for the experience in a weird way. I was like, oh, you know, like I'm glad the Band-Aid is ripped off. I've done the first date. I've kind of had that experience. Yeah, it was not the most fun. No way was he for me. I didn't even get a kiss out of it. But look, I'm glad that I like dipped my toe in and had a shot at it. Oh my God, I forgot to say when we were on the date, he looked at me and he was like, you're not one of those woke girls, are you? I was like, what the heck does that mean? I was like, what does that mean? Like I said, I was like, what does that even mean? Like, what is a woke girl? He's like, I don't know. And I made a joke and I was like, what? Do you hate gay people or something? I was joking. And he was like, I don't hate gay people, but like, I just don't believe like that they should be like getting floats and like we should have to like celebrate them. And I was like, he's also homophobic. Get me out of here. And I was like, well, what if your daughter came to you and said that she was gay? Like, how would you respond to that? It was just not the vibe. Yeah, he was very anti-Mardi Gras, very anti-trans people, very pro-Trump. When I asked him how he felt about the treatment of women from Trump, i.e. he has been convicted of sexual assault. He has been, you know, recorded saying horrible things about women. How did that make him feel as a girl dad? He was like, I never said he was a good person. I just believed like he should be the president. I'm like, listen to that statement, but okay, King, I love that for you. Yeah, it was just like horrendous. We all joke now that we call him in my friendship group the Trumpy, and we all make a joke about how, of course, for my very first date in 10 years, I end up on a date with a guy who's just like the most ill-matched person for me in the world. Not a single bit of chemistry, not a single spark. Like, it was horrendous. I've been on one other date and again, it just wasn't the right match for me. And yeah, this person just like wasn't for me. I've had a few conversations with a couple of other guys, but I don't know, like the other date experience, there was like nothing of note like it wasn't bad. I think after those two experiences and then some of the conversations I've had, I was like, I'm not doing that. I need a little break already. And I haven't even been doing this for that long. Like I need a break. The hard thing is no men come up to you at bars or like no men come up to you organically. And I'm convinced that is because they think in their head, why would I bother going up to this girl where I don't even know if she's single or not, or if she's just going to fob me off when I can open up my phone and have hundreds of girls that I know are single and that are actively matching me. Like, of course, the men are going to be like, it's so much easier just to do the apps. So like no one comes up to you when you're out. Actually lie. I've had one guy approach me when I was out. One. He was actually very attractive. He was an English guy, but he was like young. I think he was 25. And he approached me at the bar and just like started chatting me up. And then he's like chatting. And I was being polite. And then he kept going. He wasn't kind of getting the hint that I just was like, you look so young. And then I was like, how old are you? And then he goes like 24 or 25, I can't remember now. And I was like, oh, you're young. He's like, oh, how old are you? I was like, well, I'm turning 29 this year. And he's like, oh, 4 years or 5 years or whatever it was. Like, that's not that long. And I was like, oh, yeah, well, I don't know. It's a pretty big age gap. He's like, I wouldn't say so. And he was like, you know, like, you're so beautiful, like tried to like go in for the kill. And I was like, well, I'm also a mum of two. And he just literally was like, looked at me and was like, anyway, have a nice night, and like boogied away. And I was like, see you later, sir. Nice to meet you. Thank you very much. Which is funny, but yeah, that's the only experience I've had like organically with someone like trying to touch base with me and yeah, I guess chat me up or ask for my number or anything like that. People don't do that anymore. Like when I went to clubs, like you'd always have guys like coming up and talking to you. And I guess because back then that was how you like met people. And yeah, it's just crazy to see that that is not the reality whatsoever anymore. Yeah, I don't know. It's been a really weird experience. I think the way that like I talked to my therapist about like starting to like date again. And I think the way that I kind of position it is like, I'm just looking to like have that experience and like be curious and be open to meeting new people. But I'm not out there like, I want to find a boyfriend straight away. Like I enjoy at the moment, like being in my own house, having my own company, doing my own thing. It's just nice sometimes to like go out for dinner, meet new people, and like, look, if I met someone and I like connected with them, then amazing. Like I'm not closed to that. But it's definitely not my driving force. Like I'm kind of looking at dating as just like something fun to do when I've got free time. And who doesn't like going out and being wined and dined? I think we all do. But I'm not there like, oh my God, I need to be on every app, like swiping all the time and going on heaps of dates. Like that's not at all what's going through my mind. Like I'm just, kind of chilling and happy to be open to the idea, but not actively seeking it out. But yeah, it is also a really weird experience to have been someone's wife to then going to like small talk in an app with people I've never even like met before. I'm like, wow, how the times have changed. I've also had a few experiences like when I've been out drinking at bars or whatever, where I'll like walk into the bar and look around and be like, am I really back here? Like I thought I had graduated out of this stage of life, of being single, being at bars. Like I was like, Jesus Christ, how have I ended up back here? I have another single mum friend, Charlie, and we go out a lot together, which is so fun. And she's like a hoot and a half. Like she's one of those people just like you never have a bad time with her. It's always so much fun. And that's been fun just to do that and feel young again. But yeah, there is a part of me, like usually by like midnight, I'm like, okay, I'm ready to get out of here. Like I'm definitely not a like oots girl till like 4 a.m. I wasn't like that in my early 20s. I'm definitely not going to be like that as a divorcee mum of 2 now. Usually we'll just go have like a cocktail or 2 and then dip on home. But yeah, sometimes I look around, I'm like, fuck, I can't believe I'm back here and I hate it here. But I think it's good to be out and be social, I guess. It's also weird like in that because I'm like, I don't know where cool people go anymore. I don't know where people are meant to go. Like I've been a stay-at-home mum for the last like 3 years. Like what's cool? What do you wear? Oh my God, no one wears heels anymore. No one wears heels. No one, unless you're old. Like it's like an old person thing to do to wear heels. That has been a weird change to like start wearing sandals out to the clubs. I'm like, what the heck is going on here? But I've been doing it because I want to look young and fresh and in the know. Yeah, I got to say this to the girlies. Trust me, if you are with a man who loves you and you're in a nice stable relationship, you're not missing out on anything. Hold on to that man for dear life because we're fighting for our lives out here. Like that is my experience with dating. Now I know why all the single women are so disgruntled because it's not that fun out here. It is not fun at all. It is not fun. Like it is not like, oh, I'm going to go out and meet all these guys and like, I don't know, have random sexy one night stands and like, trust me, at least for me, that ain't happening. There's very little opportunities for the single gals, and especially when they get to know a bit more about you, especially as like a mum of 2, an influencer, like all these other things. I'm like, oh, this is hard. This is hard work. I don't know if I like this. Like, I don't know. You definitely, if you're married and I don't know, your husband's like farting in front of you and you're thinking, oh my God, remember when I had men who would like hit on me at bars? I want to get hit on at a bar. I don't know if anyone thinks that. I never really thought that when I was married. I was very happily, off the market. But if anyone's thinking that, trust me, you're not missing out on anything. Enjoy being off the market and in a loving, safe, secure relationship is all I can say on that. But yeah, but yeah, Hinge is gone for the moment being. I had a little dabble. I've dabbled out of it for a hot min because I'm like, if I'm going to meet someone, I'll meet someone. Okay. Like I don't need to, I don't know. I don't know. So that is my little dating update that everyone was begging for. That is what has been happening. That is my first date experience. Like I said, I haven't been on too many dates. I've been on 2 dates. Yeah. There's a lot of frogs out there and not a lot of princes. I joke with my friends, I need to wait. I'm too early. I got married too early, which means I'm getting divorced too early. And I need to wait like another 5 years to when the first round of divorcees are coming out.
and then I might need to snap someone up that way. Who knows? Maybe I'll meet like a really nice guy who hasn't been married yet and doesn't care that I have 2 kids and is just like, yeah, open to that. And so for some reason, he's also like available and amazing at, I don't know, 30 or whatever we are, like me, because I'm awesome and amazing and available at 30. But I'm not holding my breath too strongly. I'm just like open to the idea of dating without like trying to force it. But I really am hopeful that I'm going to meet someone who makes me really happy, and I meet someone who is really kind and who looks forward to my company and who's very handsome. And yeah, I'm hoping that person is out there for me and that they like me for me. And that's, I just am trying to hold on. I've always been a romantic at heart, and I'm trying not to be jaded and lose sight of that. And I'm trying to be like, I can still be a romantic and eventually meet someone if I just stay positive and stay open. Yeah, I'm saying this though with very little experience with the dating pool. Like, come back to me in like a year and I might be like, dating's the worst, like love is dead. Like, who knows what the vibe is there. But I definitely am not like feeling negative about Valentine's Day. I'm excited to have a beautiful day, to feel the love of people around me, and just, yeah, be happy for where I am right now and the people in my life right now, and just remind myself that I don't need to be married or I don't need to be in like a serious long-term relationship to be happy on Valentine's Day, and I can still show love to all the people in my life without having like a locked down my person, you know? So I'm feeling very positive, and I'm also excited to be doing a Valentine's Day giveaway with you girlies, because the person I'm most excited to show love to on Valentine's Day is myself. So we are doing a self-love giveaway pack, and it is a chance to win the Libido Essential Vibe vibrator and a James underwear voucher. So you can go and shop some cute bamboo underwear for yourself. And that is running on our Instagram at the moment. So we put it live already, and it is getting drawn tomorrow on the 13th of February on Galentine's Day. So if you want to get into the draw of that, you need to go over onto our Instagram post where there is all the details of how to enter. I wish I could have given you guys like more on the dating scene, but like I said, I've only just gotten into it. So I don't have like too many crazy stories to share. I'm also not just like a crazy gal, you know, like I am kind of a bit like I need emotional connection to be able to sleep with someone and to be able to go on multiple dates. Like, I can't just be like a young, free, casual girl, which makes it really hard with dating. Like, come on, I married my first adult boyfriend that I met at 18. Like, I am not a like young, wild and free galley. I'm a let's settle down relationship sort of galley. So I'm just trying to like not do that again and just enjoy some time with myself where I'm not like pressured to, I don't know, be looking after someone else and have my life centered around a man. And yeah, I'm excited for what the future holds. I'm very hopeful that I'm going to meet someone amazing eventually. But until then, I'm really happy, and I'm just, I'm enjoying like the dating process and just taking it for what it is and laughing off the losses. And yeah, there are some times where people say stuff and I'm like, ooh, that hurt a little bit, or like that rejection wasn't nice or whatever. But I just remind myself like it is what it is, and eventually I'll find someone who is equally as obsessed with me as I am with them. I don't know. I feel really awkward after telling you guys all my like dating stuff, showing my profile. Yeah, maybe some of your brothers, or I don't know, maybe someone might come across me on Hinge. I don't know. And I could be someone's future sister-in-law. That'd be kind of funny if that was the way, if they were listening to this episode. I don't really have anything else more to say. I feel embarrassed after sharing all of that now and sharing I don't know why. Like, I find it so easy to talk about this with my girlfriends, but I'm like, what if the listeners are judging me in my dating stories? Eek! Please don't judge me, okay? I'm just a girl out here doing the best she can. I'm trying to do my best. I'm trying to have fun while still being a responsible, cool mum. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know, guys. It's very overwhelming. I have no idea what I'm doing. I don't know how to talk to men anymore. I don't know how to be like chill and not intense because, you know, I'm used to being married to someone, but I'm sure I'll figure it out. If anyone has like single mum dating advice, please slide in to my DMs or even the Up Past Bedtime DMs, which, by the way, everyone needs to come over and follow us on Up Past Bedtime. And if you have any questions about Up Past Bedtime, you can DM us over there. We have also opened up the Up Past Bedtime hotline. We asked people to send in their worst dating experiences, and then the email account like went crazy, and I like, as in something happened, like a glitch happened in the background or whatever, and I had to delete the whole email account. So I didn't get any of those emails, and I couldn't share them on this episode, which I'm really sad about. But we do also have the Up Past Bedtime hotline, which is open. So if you ever want to write into us, if you want to talk about a certain topic on the podcast, if whatever, you can email us at helloupb@messinaco.com. And get in touch and maybe hear yourself on the potty one day, or hear the topic that you want to talk about on the potty one day. But yeah, if anyone has any advice for single mum dating, please send it through, because I would love some tips and tricks to have up my sleeve, because I have no idea what I'm doing, okay? Outside of that, I hope you all have a really beautiful Valentine's Day on Friday, and I cannot wait to talk to you all next week. Okay. I'm going to love you. I'm going to leave you. Bye. Sweet dreams.